'Tis the season for parties, parades, festivals, bright lights, and gatherings with family and friends. We may not get much of a white Christmas in San Diego, except in our mountains, but we absolutely have events and traditions here that get us all into the holiday spirit. Thank you for joining us for Holiday Rewind, a News 8 Throwback holiday special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. One of those traditions started in the East County back in 1947. The Sunday before Thanksgiving, thousands lined the streets of El Cajon for the Mother Goose Parade. Here's our coverage from 1976 and 1996, when the parade celebrated its 30th and 50th anniversaries.
For 30 years, the citizens of El Cajon have staged an annual parade based on storybook characters. It began as a way for merchants to lure customers to the valley just before Christmas time. And like Jack's Beanstalk, it has grown and grown and grown until today it lasts 90 minutes and involves dozens of bands, color guards, horseback riders, clowns, and floats. This year, the familiar figures from the fairy tales have been augmented by some scenes from United States history. This year's Mother Goose Parade has a bicentennial theme. Among the trophy winners, the El Cajon Lions took the Bicentennial Award for their float depicting the spirit of '76. The Mayor's Award went to a Star-Spangled Salute served up by Bob's Big Boy Restaurant. The winner of the Governor's Award was from another fast food franchise, Mother Goose Land, as depicted by Carl's Jr. But the Sweepstakes Award went to Valhalla High School, which with the help of Rhodes and Iliff Realtors presented the nursery rhyme, "If all the seas were one sea, what a great sea that would be." Last year they estimated the spectators at 420,000, and this year they were hinting at 500,000. El Cajon Police Lieutenant Jerry Earp put the official figure at between 500 and 550,000.
No need to try and drum up a crowd for the annual Mother Goose Parade. The streets were filled with moms and dads, kids and grandparents, all kicking off a holiday week with a big celebration. And of course, everyone has their favorites.
What's your favorite part, honey? Humpty Dumpty.
This parade is the second largest west of the Mississippi, and it's a big year. Mother Goose turns 50. She was honored with this float. And in typical Southern California fashion, the temperatures hovered in the warm range, so parade goers had to use their bottled water to keep cool, all part of the fun. This was indeed a tale Mother Goose herself would have been proud of.
Fun tradition. I got to take part in it in 2008. In 1985, Hal Clement provided a history lesson on Thanksgiving. Much like we're doing now, he dug into our archives to see how San Diegans celebrated in the 1950s through the 1980s.
When you think about it, it's amazing such a lowly bird becomes the object of our attention for days every year. You can thank George Washington for that. It's true the Pilgrims in Plymouth celebrated Thanksgiving on and off since the early 17th century, but Washington declared the first official Thanksgiving in 1789. President Lincoln made it even more official when he made it an annual holiday, the last Thursday of every November. It was Franklin Roosevelt who changed it to the third Thursday in November in 1939.
May you and yours have a happy Thanksgiving. I am thankful that I can live in a country where our leaders sit down on Thanksgiving Day to carve up a turkey instead of a map.
Once the turkey found its niche on the calendar, the rest wasn't far behind. Traditional turkey dinners.
Are you buying chicken on Thanksgiving?
Not so traditional turkey dinners.
That's basically the way it goes on holidays.
Football games would become as much a part of the holiday as the turkey itself. So would the beginning of Christmas shopping season.
I don't know about you, but I think this Thanksgiving stuff is just a little bit overrated.
And news stories on anything turkey. This was the 1957 Turkey Egg Watch, as recorded by Channel 8. Obviously, the eggs did not oblige and hatch on the appointed day.
Thankful that Kennedy is elected for president, and I'm sure that everybody's going to have a turkey this year.
Through the years, we've asked a lot of people, even turkeys, what they're thankful for on this day. What do you think about Thanksgiving? Turkeys excluded, you can find out a lot about what happened in the year preceding Thanksgiving by just asking people what they're thankful for. During the late 1950s, people had gotten pretty used to peace and were grateful for that.
I am thankful that we have peace in America at this time, and I hope that we'll always have it.
I'm thankful that all my family's in good health, and I think that's something to be thankful for when you're in good health and then living in a free country.
I think the first thing that occurs to me is...
No matter what year it is, kids wave at TV cameras.
I'm very cognizant of that.
And I'm happy to be in California.
A decade later, the flower children, still in bloom, thought beautiful weather was enough to be thankful for.
I have to be thankful for a lot of things. It's a really nice day, and I have to be thankful for being up here today.
Well, a lot of things, really, that I'm not in school today, mainly.
Oh, I had to be thankful for being alive, enjoying this beautiful surrounding, the beautiful people.
As for turkeys themselves, we may have more respect for them now than we did in the past.
It took some turkey maneuvering, make that tricky maneuvering, and Hemus finally got his bird.
The guy who raced to win this turkey trot obviously had little respect for the big bird.
It was a happy ending for everyone, except for you-know-who.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
But for the most part, no matter how many times we've shown them, fine and feathered, no one seems to have a problem digging in on the big day. Hal Clement, News 8.
That was great, Hal. Thanks. At CBS 8, we're always working for you and your wallet and have been for decades. We know it's pretty pricey right now to put out that holiday spread. Back in 1978 and 1980, reporters Jim Gordon and Paula Zahn, they hit the grocery stores to find the best deals on turkeys.
There was a time when 80% of the nation's turkeys were consumed during the 5 weeks from Thanksgiving to New Year's. Then prices took a dip. Now turkey producers say that sales over the last 5 years show that Americans are eating more turkey in the off-season. January to June sales account for about 1/3 of the annual totals. Depending on whether you choose a self-basting turkey, a hen, or tom, prices we found range from as low as 57 cents a pound to 99 cents. That's what the frozen big birds cost at one market. A local retailer said that's 10 to 15 cents a pound above last year's prices.
In last Thursday's food section, the best buy we could find was 58 cents a pound. But the price war has hit, the bidding is on. A lot of stores in town are now selling the tom turkeys for 45 to 49 cents a pound. The old domino effect. One store lowers its prices, the others follow. Last year, the price war bottomed out at about 49 cents a pound, and most store managers say prices should end up there again this year, which means the stores will take a loss on the turkeys. The 49 cent a pound price tag is almost 20 cents less than the wholesale price. But it does make sense for the stores to underprice the turkeys. According to one store manager I talked with, if the store can get a customer into the store to buy a turkey, chances are they'll do the rest of their shopping there.
Those big birds are loss leaders, right? According to the Farm Bureau survey in 2022, a classic Thanksgiving feast for 10 people cost about $64 or less than $6.50 a person. That was 20% higher than in 2021. The most expensive item of that Thanksgiving meal was the turkey, of course. In that survey, the average cost of a 16-pound bird was $28.96. And of course, a very common tradition every year is to share what you're thankful for. We saw some of that in Hal's story. This year and every year, I'm pretty thankful for my family and friends. They mean the world to me. What were people thankful for back in 1979? Let's take a look.
What do you have to be thankful for this Thanksgiving Day?
Good health, and we hope the country's in peace.
My turkey that's cooking. That's about it.
Oh, because it's such a beautiful day in San Diego, and I'm here on the beach with my grandson and his other grandma. We're going to have a nice family dinner that my daughter is doing the cooking for. It's just a nice day.
Thankful for my health and my mom and my sister, my family.
And you?
I'm for my family, my life. Everything is good.
Things have changed, but a lot of things are still the same. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, has changed a great deal in recent years, with so much shopping now online and holiday deals starting much earlier than ever. But I'm sure you remember those days when people lined up for hours outside of stores and malls ready to attack their shopping lists and hopefully not each other. Here's Larry Himmel back in 1983 on Black Friday.
This morning, police surrounded the area immediately behind me in an attempt to contain the assembled mob. Their efforts would be futile. The mood of the crowd turned angry as they fought it out for the last few precious parking spaces. They had converged not to protest against nuclear weapons or the invasion of some far-off island, but rather to launch an invasion of their own on the Mall of Fashion Valley. These nomads, no doubt descendants of Attila the Hun, plunder this shopping center yearly on the day after Thanksgiving to begin the annual pagan ritual of Christmas shopping. By mid-morning, they had taken over the Broadway and occupied most of Neiman Marcus, meeting only token resistance in the credit department. Pennies didn't know how much longer they could hold out, and Santa surrendered shortly before noon. The anger of the crowd soon reached fever pitch when they discovered how much higher prices were this year than last. All afternoon, reinforcements kept arriving, and the onslaught continued. The hordes relentless in their pursuit of ugly ties for Uncle Ralph and other Christmas gifts. By 3 p.m., there was a 2-day wait at most gift-wrapping counters. Finally, by late afternoon, the invading troops began to disperse. One by one, they headed back to their condos with the spoils of their victory. These proud warriors would return to fight again another day. Shopping center executives are meeting at this precise moment in an emergency closed-door session to determine whether or not they should petition President Reagan to declare Fashion Valley a national disaster area. Meanwhile, shop owners can only assess their damages and brace themselves for another rebel attack tomorrow. For News 8, I'm Larry Himmel, at large, Fashion Valley.
Oh, Larry. Coming up, we have a whole lot more of holiday fun to get into, including a look at our favorite Christmas traditions around San Diego, plus a throwback to folks ringing in the new year. Stick around. Welcome back to the News 8 Throwback Holiday Special. Kicking off the Christmas season in San Diego means December nights at Balboa Park, a local tradition that we all love. It started out in 1978 as Christmas on the Prado.
What do you want for Christmas?
Light bright and Pee-wee guys.
It's not the North Pole, but Balboa Park will do just fine. After all, Santa is working on that list.
A scooter and a ticket to Disneyland, huh?
Christmas on the Prado has returned. Music and smiles, Christmas scenes and more smiles, Santa and, well...
Well, look at here.
Look what we got here, Santa.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
Oh, it's very festive. As everyone's here and having a good time and laughing and singing, and there's lots of good music, and it's just fun.
'Tis the season to feel the heartwarming spirit, not to mention the bone-warming weather.
Oh, I think this is great. We're from Rochester, New York, and we're used to snow and terrible cold weather. It's kind of nice to see all the activities in this kind of temperatures.
Now, during this season of giving and, well, getting, it's nice to know most people are forgetting last year's controversy over the park's public display of nativity scenes.
It increases everybody's Christmas spirit by seeing the nativity scene and remembering what Christmas is about, not just all the commercialism, more of the religious part of it.
One certainly doesn't want to sound like Scrooge at a time like this, but there are also more police at the park this year to guard against those un-Christmas-like possibilities. There were few tonight. Artie Ojeda, News 8, Balboa Park.
No one does Christmas like Balboa Park does.
This is a real kickoff. This is the night we come to the Prado, and then we get our tree tomorrow.
Christmas on the Prado is a magical 2-day event, and Friday night, thousands upon thousands of people turned out to get into the holiday spirit.
I think it's fabulous. I'm from the Midwest myself, and this is our first time here, me and my little girls, and San Diego does it right.
Does it ever? From the dazzling Christmas tree to the just-baked cookies. The event is free, open to anyone willing to wear a smile. Christmas on the Prado is guaranteed to bring out the kid in all of us. In Coronado, Christmas literally paraded into town.
You gotta come out to a Christmas parade. You can't miss a Christmas parade, even though it doesn't quite seem like Christmas. Too warm.
Hundreds lined the street to catch a glimpse of Santa Claus. Santa decided to give the reindeer a break and rolled into Coronado courtesy of the fire department. This is a hometown tradition here and included the Coronado Library staff, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, not to mention a couple of pets. The parade warmed a lot of hearts and even included a lot of reindeer with red noses. Maria Solis, News 8.
A huge part of Christmas, maybe too big a part, is gift giving. People get a lot of satisfaction, though, out of going out and finding the perfect presents for loved ones. It is better to give than receive, right? We sent our Liz Purcell out to brave the crowds and check out the most popular gifts in 1983 and 1990.
Thanksgiving set the tone for local retailers, and they have no quarrel with that. Sales were good. The crowds were large and people spent money, and they're still spending money.
It's a lot busier. We're doing more business than we did last year, quite a bit more business than we did last year.
Are people spending more money than they did last year?
I would say so, yeah.
People are buying big-ticket items as well as smaller, less expensive gifts. At Bullock's, they're saying it's an unusually good year for furs and fine jewelry. Last year, shoppers who wanted to buy sometimes couldn't. Inventory was low. The stores, concerned about the economy, did not stock up, so selection was poor. That is not the case this season.
For the most part, we are in sensational shape, especially compared to last year, when at this time we were running lean on goods, as was most people, protecting themselves from weak business, weak economy. This year, we were very gutsy about it, very aggressive, and have loaded our stocks to meet the customer demands all the way through the Christmas period, and we think we're in good shape.
But not all retailers have big inventories. Toy stores are unable to meet demand on the more popular items this year. They're already sold out of Cabbage Patch Kids, Care Bears, and G.I. Joes. Retailers blame manufacturers.
What they did was they produced less in anticipation of being less demand, and it has just been the opposite. There's been more demand than I think they realized.
Another shortage has already occurred in the less expensive home computer market. Products are selling fast. People are spending once again. The last-minute shoppers are out, feeling the pressure of a deadline.
I get tired of it, but you'd think I'd learn by now.
Faces reflected determination or bewilderment. For those who still haven't made up their minds, Leslie Harris has a few suggestions. Maybe a scarf organizer.
It's only $3.75. It's a great gift item, last-minute gift item. This is a ring watch. It's only $28 in our fashion jewelry department. For apparel, probably the greatest seller are the stirrup pants, and we have them all over the store.
Leather coats and jackets are in demand, especially with the cold weather. And for those thinking ahead to cruise wear, there's always the pricey Escada line.
Most women have spent the last few weeks, if not the last few months, Christmas shopping. It's the men who are notorious as last-minute shoppers.
Thank you very much, Liz, and have a great holiday. Here's your gifts.
Thank you, Gary.
Actually, the last-minute shopper has a great selection here. We have brand new truckloads of merchandise that comes in every day.
For shoppers looking for something not too personal, gift baskets filled with tasty treats come in handy. And who can turn down a box of exotic chocolates? That's called playing it safe, last-minute style. Liz Purcell, News 8, Mission Valley.
With the flip of a switch, courtesy of Shamu there, the Sky Tower at SeaWorld was lit up in 2001. That tradition actually began in 1969 and continues today. A sure sign that the holidays are upon us. It's a beacon of light and can be seen for miles. SeaWorld officials told us back in 2001 that airline pilots actually used the tree to navigate their way to Lindbergh Field at the time, now San Diego International Airport. And ships at sea can spot it 12 miles offshore. The iconic Hotel del Coronado always gets in the holiday spirit. This is from 1997. More than 30,000 dazzling lights adorn the outside, with an incredible 30-foot tree inside. It's a longtime tradition for many San Diegans to visit during the holiday season, one that is still going strong today. Still ahead, Christmas isn't the end of the holidays, not by a long shot. Coming up next, how San Diego welcomed in the new year back in the 1960s and 70s. That's next. As we get in and through the holidays, don't forget to write down your New Year's resolutions. Mine, it's to watch more News 8 throwbacks. Let's dive into how San Diegans celebrated the new year back in 1966 and 1977. Take a look.
One of the noisiest New Year parties got underway at the International Room of the El Cortez Hotel, where last night the German American Society held its annual year-end affair. The party was just one of many gatherings to give 66 the Auld Lang Syne treatment. Restaurants, nightclubs, and hotels prepared for this night all week. At the El Cortez Convention Center, the New Year's noise was sort of coming out in stereo. While the German Americans were swinging upstairs, down in the Century Room, the single set kept things going until 4 a.m. If you were in a spending mood last night, there were plenty of opportunities. At Shifty's, the tab was $25 a couple for drinks and entertainment until 1. For those who wanted to eat their way into 67, La Scale Restaurant offered filet mignon, lobster, or duckling at $25. But Hotel del Coronado topped them all at $35 a couple.
It was 9 o'clock before the throng began to move into Crystal Teas for a night of drinking and dancing to usher the 70s into history. This is just one of dozens of local night spots revelers chose to celebrate at. The lucky hundreds who got into Crystal Teas paid a $6 cover charge for the privilege of starting that New Year's hangover here. That's cheap, though. Other establishments were said to be charging $15 or more just to get in. Early in the evening, there were a few public drunkenness arrests. Usually, the inebriated wound up in the detox center downtown for 4 hours. Sometimes they were unlucky and found themselves headed for jail. But most San Diegans rang out the old year safely, if not altogether quietly or soberly, and 1 out of 3 isn't bad. Happy New Year, everyone. Dave Cohen, News 8.
Remember, folks, these days you can get an Uber or a Lyft. Thanks for watching Holiday Rewind, a News 8 throwback special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. For more great CBS 8 content, check out the CBS 8 Plus streaming channel, where you can watch what you want when you want to.